Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so I always start these out with something real that happened, and usually it's an anecdote about something my pup did, and then we see if that sets a tone for the storyline on these bonus messages. Today I had to have my car serviced, and my dog, he's in the car with me, and he's like observing everything that they do, deciding, are they really allowed to be under the hood? Are they really allowed to replace that air filter? And it was hilarious, just because they were cracking up laughing because they could see his, he tilts his head and inquires. And so all I can say is maybe someone is really paying close attention, feeling as if it's their duty to observe something, whether it is or is not really their duty. We have a King of Coins in the reverse. This also is associated with the crown chakra. And unfortunately, in the reverse, this is someone who is not really giving a whole lot, or certainly not giving the kind of support that would be welcome. This is someone who's not very connected to their higher self right now, so they might be acting out. When we're not acting from our higher self, we're probably acting more from, like jealousy, some of those baser emotions, those things that we all have, but we try try not to let override our behavior. So somebody's feeling, I don't know why I'm getting like a lot of jealousy off of this also. This could be someone who's like, I want that person to give to me. Why aren't they giving to me? I don't know if this is Nine of Cups. And I definitely feel like this is somebody who's jealous of something. They see this as their Nine of Cups. This is the sacral chakra, so the house of emotion and sensuality. This could be someone who flat out is just jealous that someone appears to be happy without them. Maybe the object of their affection is giving their time and energy to someone else. And that's like, but I wanted that. That's supposed to be mine. It's interesting that, hold on. Now, High Priestess in the reverse. This is the house of willpower, the solar plexus. I gotta say, I think that we have a High Priestess who is aware that someone is incredibly jealous right now of them. Tell me a little bit more about this situation. Let's shift decks now that we got kind of the bulk of the story out of that one. And let's go to, I feel like this might be complicated, so let's go ahead and go with a complicated imagery here. This is going to be heavy in symbolism, and we just got the Hierophant. Weird. So this King of Coins is like, but I'm supposed to be married to that person. I had plans. This was slated for me. I'm starting to think that this is a situation where this individual still views someone as like, but you're mine. You can't be with someone else when I was going to marry you when I was darn good and ready. Knight of Wands. Oh, yeah. So this is not a real pleasant story, but this is someone who, instead of behaving like a king, someone who is grounded and stable and giving, and please be mindful, I don't read for genders. It doesn't matter. I'm a fictional storyteller. So we can swap gender roles. This could be same-sex couple or anything. Okay. So just be mindful of that. For this fictional character, though, they are coming across as someone that did not take charge of anything. They did not give, but they still said, even though I'm not giving, I want. That's going to be mine. It's almost like a greedy little kid, like a selfish, spoiled kid. And it's like, that is reserved for me, because if I said it, that my word is the rule. I get what I said I wanted. And this was the person I was going to marry when I was done rushing around, coming in and out, not really feeling like I was ready to give to anything. They were very disjointed, very jumbled. This is actually like a sculpture made out of stone, but it's kind of it's wrapped up in twine, and so like the sculpture itself is like bulged, and there's weird protruding like body parts and things in the wrong locations, and everything is kind of mishmashed, and it's really a very unpleasant card. This Knight of Wands is really showing somebody whose desires and affections are kind of all over the place, even though we have the overall image of what they want, right? This person kind of knows who they are, and then they kind of don't. It's like, if we step back and we see the big picture, we can tell this is the statue of a person, but why is it all jacked up? Well, because someone never, like,
actually organize their thoughts. They're not being fair either in what they think they're entitled to. In It's not great energy for sure from this character. By the way, we do have Taurus there with that Hierophant as well. Tell me a little bit more. Why did they behave this way? Why did they think something could be theirs and they could rush in and out? They could explore other maybe avenues, other options when they had already pegged the person that they wanted as theirs. 10 of Pentacles and the Empress. Honestly, this person's behavior doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The one thing that I will say I appreciate about them is that they knew darn well that they were dealing with an Empress. That was never a question. They knew that they found an Empress. Okay. I'll give them props for recognizing high quality when they spot it. Now, were they high quality in their own behavior toward the Empress? Oh, gosh, no, not in this story. Now we look at that 10 of Pentacles, because I said, why'd they behave this way? I don't know that they really know. They're riding around in this urinal. And the 10 of Pentacles should be a card of tons of, wonderful abundance. So normally it's a very happy card. It's about family. It's about prosperity. It's about, building a legacy and really feeling proud of it and knowing where you stand on things. This person, look at how dark the imagery is here. It's all, shades of, dark blues and no color tone at all. It's almost like that, kind of like a black and white or monochrome or something. And instead of wearing a graduation cap, they have a checkerboard on their head with chess pieces. It's like they tried to strategize every step of their life. So they found an Empress and they're like, haha, awesome. Got me an Empress. That's my person. Okay, great. I won. I've that, checkmate. I've got the Empress. And maybe they even thought, and I got the Empress to fall in love with me. Now I can ignore the Empress, dip off and try to go be strategic and get all kinds of other forms of abundance in whatever method I need to. If I need to like smooge with one person because maybe it's like they have money and then maybe eventually I'll get something out of them, I can do that. I can, just they kind of, everything was about manipulation tactics and strategy. And they really kind of felt like that's an okay way to live. They even enjoyed that to a certain extent, even though there was no enjoyment. And this person is sitting in a urinal with wings. That's a very conflicted view. So it's like they're wise enough to recognize an Empress, but they're still always see somebody very conflicted because they spotted something that I think that they really did love, but I just feel like this person has so much what I'm picturing in my mind is like, if you've ever tried to clean something up with a sponge, like the top of your stove, say you're making spaghetti and spaghetti sauce goes all over, then you try to wipe it up, you'll wipe up a little bit of it and then your sponge is saturated in that. And if you keep trying to wipe with a dirty sponge, all you do is you spread a thin layer of the mess all over the place. And then if you go and you rinse out your sponge, that's fine, but you actually got to rinse and squeeze and get all that residue out before you go back and continue the cleaning job if you're really going to clean things up. I feel like that's the problem. This person is like a sponge who soaked up a lot of like negative thought processes that have actually really made everything confusing for them. And because they never take the time to really like wring themselves out and wash themselves clean, they keep trying to operate with like a dirty sponge. And I guess what I really mean is they keep trying to operate in life like these messed up ideas that they have will get them somewhere, that will still get them what they want. It won't. It just makes a bigger mess. Tell me about the 9 of Cups, because I mean, this is their wish fulfillment. This is their wish fulfillment, and they really think that they're still supposed to be able to have it. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, because there's something about a timeline has occurred. In their mind, they're ready for this now, and I don't think that the High Priestess is available to them anymore. This is like, you notice how this person hides their face every single time, and they hold out their own hand with another image of themselves in it, and then they hold out their own hand with another image of themselves in it, and they get progressively actually smaller. As time has passed, they didn't build themselves into a better version of themselves to come toward that Empress. They actually have diminished the way she feels about them. Every time that more cycles have passed, where they continued to wear this mask, hide their face, not really be a truthful individual who is ready to come in and really give effort to something. they have actually shrunken both in her memory and possibly in her affection. And perhaps they're realizing all of a sudden that even in their own eyes, they've, I think this person thought they were quite a swaggering, like, like they thought life is like a chess game and I'm always going to win because I'm always going to outsmart somebody else. I love to think 2 steps ahead of everybody or 10 steps ahead of everybody. I like to manipulate. I like to pit people against each other. I like to see what I can get out of scenarios. It's like they enjoyed this manipulation game. And it all kind of seemed like it had to do with money. But now at the end of the day, now that they really are thinking they're ready to have that empress, that's their wish fulfillment. They've achieved whatever manipulation games they wanted to play. Now they realize, even though maybe it's time, there's such a their own self-worth has been eroded so much. It's like they're looking at themselves going, "Oh my gosh, I've shrunken in my power. All this time I thought I was powerful. I've actually been depleting." And I think that they know this even about themselves because this is a change. The Wheel of Fortune says something has shifted. A wheel has come full circle. It's come all the way around and it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the moment of truth." And now they're looking at themselves and what their own actions and behavior have created and it's like, "I don't like what I see. I'm actually only this big. My ego, I thought I was swaggering. I thought I was powerful. Why am I now feeling so small inside?" Tell me about the High Priestess. High Priestess, 9 of Cups, 3 of Swords. Oh, at one point in time, she said they were my wish fulfillment also. But man, you notice that she kind of is saying, but I had the lampshade pulled over my eyes again and again and again and again. I really thought they were my wish fulfillment. And then we have this 3 of Swords. And this 3 of Swords, she's saying, and they intentionally tried to trap me and peg me. You notice how she's this butterfly, but we see, this over and over and over and over again. We see evidence of like a repeat cycle again and again and again. And every time she's this butterfly who's been pegged. And there's some kind of like social media stuff here also. And her little heart has been pegged as well. This 3 of Swords is like the High Priestess, who's also the Empress in this story. She knows better now. I know better now. You were my wish fulfillment. And God, over and over again, you put a pin in my heart. I can't believe over and over again. What's the deal with the whole social media aspect? I don't know if they pretended death card in the reverse. Oh, so there's this interesting thing where she goes, I realize now they actually, they didn't ever, they left me out in the dust, but maybe they've been watching me on social media because they've always intended to come back in. But that means they know how they treated me. They know what I went through. They know certain things about my life. They watched it all unfold and they never, stepped up or they weren't there beside me. But it was all because this was their plan, was to never give me closure so that I could never move on. And that's the thing that really hurts. I think she's like, wow, this person, I see they knew that I thought that they were my wish fulfillment at one point. And they also know they really pulled the wool over my eyes. And to top it off, this person didn't want to give me closure, but that was part of their strategy. And they kind of have held on to me and observed me. And now that she kind of knows this, in this story, she knows this. She's like, this person was a game player. That's all they were. They were a game player. Yeah, that hurt, but it doesn't hurt anymore because sometimes people are game players. And sometimes that's what we have to acknowledge and let go of. It's almost like now that the sun is shining, Aries hushes, okay? Yeah, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. It's as if now that the sun is shining on this, it's like, okay, I can be okay with this now because it makes a lot more sense. Everything is clear to me. I feel like she was pretty confused for a while and she's not anymore. She's actually a lot happier now. And we even see these little it's a little angel over here who's been riding on this horse and it's on fire, kind of like at last the little guardian angels have like, they're saying, yes, yes, you see it for what it is now. We were trying to guide you here. We were trying to like have you follow the bright light toward the truth of, hey, you have happiness up ahead. You don't have to be left in this kind of hurtful place. She's not unhappy anymore. Is even understanding this person at a deeper level, she's almost like, well, I get it now. I get it why they did that. And she's not saying, oh, they're just a wicked, evil person. She's just like, that sucks to be them. But I'm not like that. And I'm glad for that. You know, it's Six of Wands. No, she actually feels like she's finally, you notice, has taken off the rose-colored glasses. Only in this case, it's her own eyes, and she's using more of her intuition. It's like, wow, everything that I thought I understood about this person did turn out to be true. They've been clinging to me, holding on to me all this time, kind of spying on me from a distance, but they walked away. They let me go, but didn't give me closure for a reason. It's because we've had stories like this before where it's like somebody put someone on a shelf and said, excellent, I met the person I want. I'm going to leave them up here, make them fall for me, make them think I'm their wish fulfillment, put them up on a shelf, and then I'm going to go play whatever these games are that I need to play. I feel like it was all kinds of money-based manipulation stuff that they were really focused on. And then they're like, and then once I get all that worked out, then I'll come back for that empress. The empress wants me and I know it. So I'll just kind of keep tabs on her from a distance while I go and I, play this chess game where I move all these parts and manipulate a bunch of people. And yet she's like aware of this. She's like, I know this sounds weird, but it's almost like there's a part of her that doesn't hurt anymore because she's like, they really did want me and they really did know I was an empress. I'm glad they at least could recognize that about me. Just like I said, all right, good. I can give this person one like pat on the back, which is I'm glad they could recognize an empress when they spotted one. Now, were they in any kind of energy vibe where they could be next to an empress? No, definitely not in this. But the empress is kind of knowing that too. And somehow that's like healing her heart is what I want to say. Because it's like, wow, all the unpleasantness, because they did cause her heartbreak, and that heartbreak is actually being healed because she's like, oh my God, I always knew they did love me, but they messed things up with me because of this kind of distorted vision that they have of the world and the way they manipulate life. And so they kind of like, I can trust my intuition. It's weird how she actually feels good about finding this out, which seems like counterproductive, but I don't know if that'll make sense, but that's the message. And we got the Sun card and we got the Six of Wands. That's success. She's not hurt over this anymore. What happens here? Is there any message about Three of Wands? It's just time to move on. It's time to look to the future for everybody involved. What happens with them? The Tower. They've got a whole lot of things falling apart in their world right now. And it could be, remember, we saw them with that Wheel of Fortune and they realize, oh my God, I have shrunken in my own eyes. I used to think I was this swaggering, master manipulator. And now I'm just, I feel this big. I feel this tall. I think that this is that ego crashing down for them. Because, I mean, this has not been a pleasant character that we've been describing. Not at all. Everything may be falling apart, but they're still showing up as a Knight of Wands again. While everything is falling apart, they may be basically left with only one thought, which is, but I'm still passionate about her. The only problem I see, and we've seen it all along with this person, they've never shown up as a king or an emperor, nothing in the upright. They've only been knights. And now a Page of Cups. They do have a desire to come in and make an apology, it looks like, but it's also that they still are very passionately attracted to this empress. And I wonder if they don't operate off of real base behaviors, like lust instead of love, even though there's a part of them that was high enough vibration that they could spot an empress. So it's weird because this person is such a contradiction. I almost feel like there's this really good part of them, and then there's this really yucky part of them that has been primarily calling the shots. They do have love, genuine love for her, as messed up as everything else has been. This does not mean that she's going to be taking them back. Let's see what happens with her. Ooh, Hold on. That wasn't a shuffle as much as it was a drop. What's going to happen with her? Because like I said, this is all, it's just time to move on. A 2 of Cups, a King of Pentacles in the upright, and an 8 of Coins. We can, this is another one that's going to be left for kind of open interpretation because it could go either way. We could say that for her, she says, I know that person had like a ton of, we'll say, shadows in them that they needed to figure out. Do I still feel like I am bonded to this person? Do I still even feel like I wish that, you know, if they could energetically take my hand and choose to, you know, stand in the sunlight with me instead of, you know, behave in such a dark manner? It, there was love here. I loved them. I love the good part that exists within them that I believe is there. But if they want to live in the shadows, that doesn't work. The only way this works is if they join me in the sunlight, if they stop being so toxic, if they become a King of Pentacles in the upright, and if they really have what it takes to kind of like stay there, which would require a lot of hard work, because it's like, if they have that default where they go back to this, where they won't listen to their higher self and where they continuously fall back into some weird manipulative energy, then it won't work. I mean, listen, I don't pick the cards that come out. You saw what popped out, and it turns out that it kind of looks like she is still saying there is hope for us if they could genuinely have ever changed. Because I do know that as messed up as all this has been, there was some kind of love there. Now, please be mindful. These are fictional stories. Take yourself out of the story. Do not imagine this is your life, because what I hate to read is when people write these things about how somebody like abused them and did horrible things to them, and they're trying to apply that to this storyline. That's not this storyline. That's how you know your story is different. This is not me advocating to take somebody back who's mistreated anybody. I hope that makes sense. You guys, thank you so much. If you do enjoy my storytelling, thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying this as the fiction that it is, without over-identifying with characters, and just know you get to choose how your life will go, no one but you. And I hope that's always empowering. So thanks again. Bye.